Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah, that's okay.
And he's out. He's even. I'm sick.
Yeah, he's not feeling well. Thank you.
Be okay. Keep you safe.
Oh, I'm fine.
Good evening, Deputy Whitehouse with the Sheriff's Office, resident deputy here, one of them. This is the monthly report for December 2018. These are going to be yearly totals. They may be off a little bit, but for the most part, these are probably accurate. These numbers are, when it comes down to like arrests and violations, that's basically just Ted and myself. There's other people like patrol units that are up here to do other things too, but these are just, for the most part, they're ours. Where do we start here? We had 24 thefts for last year. Dollar General, I think, was bulk of those, and just minor stuff in and about town. Alarms were high. A lot of those, the bank alarms, PNC, ATM had a lot of alarms. I think they pretty much fixed that. The 911 calls, there was 207 of those last year.
Is that
Most of those are Daughters of Charity, but if you go to the back page, I've worked with Ken Vaughn over there, and we've talked with their vendors. So it was one of those where you had to dial 9 and then a 1 and then, a 9 and then the number. So they were hitting 9, then dial 911. But now as of December 20th, it's now changed to a 3. So they're going to dial a 3. So maybe that'll cut down on,
the 911?
yes, cut down a lot. So
Glad it wasn't
since
two.
then, there hasn't been hardly any 911s from that campus anywhere. So
Missed that, weren't you?
I do miss that a lot. Yes. Let's see here. I know you can see the bike patrols are only 1 for the year. We've had to kind of, I'm not going to say go away from that, but the bike uniform for us is not very favorable with, I guess, people in the agency. We kind of have to schedule when we do them now. Before we could just come in, ride the bike. Now we kind of have to schedule those because they like the uniform that we wear here. It looks more professional. Looks like a police uniform. So if there's any issues with that, just let me know, and we'll see what we can do come the spring, summer next year. Okay. 826 traffic stops for the year, 563 citations, 634 warnings. The arrests, the traffic arrests were at 34. The criminal were at 6. So juvenile arrests and some warrants, and the criminal summons there were in the teens. The calls for the special assignments we had last month was the Christmas tree lighting ceremony, the festivities that went on without a hitch, pretty good. We came in here for the holiday lunch, and we had a FEMA brunch, and we also, Ted and I, we attended the swearing-in ceremony for Sheriff Chuck Jenkins. The additional information here, this is just my information up here. The couple lines here. I know there was some recent things here with these bike thefts. Hopefully that's not becoming something that's going to occur very often. Some of them were located, stripped, and thrown in the creek behind the post office. So I'm working with Terry at the office. There's a form that our patrol deputies use to register their bikes, and they've been doing it for a while. In more parts of the county where people are still out of bikes, like down near like the mall area, stuff like that. But there is a bike registration form where you can get the serial number off the bike. Because I mean, sometimes you come across like, say you might see we might see like 3 or 4 bikes on the side of the road or in the park, just like looks like you don't know if they're somebody's or they're stolen. Now you can register the bike, and we're going to try to do that here. We're going to kind of keep track, like I said, you just put the serial number on it, make, model, that kind of stuff. That way, if we come across a bike or somebody calls about one and they did bother to register it through here, we'll be able to find the owner and be like, hey, do you know where the bike is? Or, just kind of inquire a little bit on it. And I guess apparently, I imagine you heard about the guy that drove intentionally on the sidewalk in December. He was the newspaper delivery guy. It happened right across from the firehouse. There was, I guess, a lot of traffic in town, and he wanted to deliver his paper, so he drove up onto the sidewalk intentionally and got kind of wedged in with a light pole to a light pole and some stairs.
Oh, my.
And there's about a 10-second video of, that we saw somebody took of him like peeling out, trying to, but he was able to leave before anybody, I guess, got there. But he was found and charged with the damage to the town property and all that. So just letting you know that. Last month there was 2 heroin overdoses, so that made 4 for Emmitsburg in 2018. Yeah, there was no fatalities with those. And if I remember right, there was one person who accounted for half of those, so it's like somebody. So I think the other ones were just kind of like passing through. So you have a
And
question
how
on
does
any of that?
compare to 2017?
I didn't write that. I can look
I was
that
just
up.
wondering, are things trending up? Are they trending down? Or
I'd say down, but I can verify. I can go back. I'll write that down and then just email you.
yeah.
Okay.
And then that form to register a bike, how do people get that? And can it be on the town website?
Well, I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put them up here at the town office, and they can come up and fill them out. And if they need any, like I said, I'll have Terry. We talked about it, but we'll put something out over the town website or social media once we figure out exactly. Because right now, the person who's in charge of the bike registrations is at our office in Frederick. But I want to be able to be involved, or when someone's registering a bike, I'd like to know about it. So we kind of want to, and our information's not on that form. So we want to try to add something where we're going to know how many people are actually doing it in town, who's done it, you know what I mean, to kind of track it.
If people are interested, could they email you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But I mean, the form's going to have to be filled out. If they can't find the serial number on the bike, they can call us and we can come out and try to find it.
Deputy,
Commissioner
sorry.
O'Donnell?
Sorry,
Go ahead.
we're good. Thank you, sir. Regarding the overdose events, the more recent ones, I guess, I'm assuming, was it Narcan was used? And if it was it by public safety, or was it like somebody who had it in their possession?
Yeah, I mean, not all of them require Narcan.
Okay.
Okay, so I mean, and I'm probably going to say, at least 3 of the 4 Narcan was administered.
Okay. Great.
But like I said, sometimes, depending on what they do or how much or,
Correct.
the quality of it, you may not need it. You may not need the Narcan.
Okay.
So, and sometimes obviously Narcan's not going to help at all, but.
Sure. The reason I'm asking is that I've heard about a real emphasis for individuals to carry it themselves, not the user necessarily, but just like public to have it on hand. So I'm just wondering if you've run across that in town.
No, I have not.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
Great.
Commissioner Ritz? You have
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Oh, you have any more?
Thank you for everything you do.
Sure. The last thing, as I know we've spoke before, I think I spoke with the mayor about utilizing an unmarked vehicle for a lot of speed complaints, traffic complaints. So I've been out in that in the last 3 weeks. It's all black, so doesn't look like the car I normally drive. But so if you see an all black car with the spotlight on, it's me. So
Well, thanks for telling
don't
everybody.
tell anybody.
Way to go,
Commissioner
Deputy.
Blanchard, you have any?
Just letting you all know that
You will
we-
do, the people who come in before, were here first, you got all their information. 511 at West Main
Yes,
Street.
I spoke with them and we had a good lengthy talk back there. So
And then last town meeting, I know a lot of people were concerned about at the square, when someone's turning left, going around through those parking lots, causing problems. It's dangerous. Did you get to?
you say, I'm sorry, making a left by the parking
Well,
lot.
no. When people are in the square passing cars that aren't turning.
Yes. If there is enough room and they don't go on the sidewalk or off the road, it's legal. Once you go up on the sidewalk, it's not. It's considered driving off the road to pass a vehicle, which you can't do. So,
Okay.
and cutting through the PNC Bank, you can't really do that either. Technically, you can't drive on private property to avoid a traffic control device. People that try to cut through the PNC drive-through or the drive-through lane there to beat the light and get out. I mean, really, you're not supposed to do that either. It's
People
against
cut
the
through
law.
the post office to when there's a street right past it. I don't understand.
I don't know either. So,
You do. Thank you. I don't
any
have
questions? You can email me or call or whatever you like.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right.
All righty, moving on.
We have the consent agenda.
Okay. The trails volunteer you're rescheduling?
Yes, sir, I'd like to postpone that for tonight, from tonight.
Consent agenda, we have none. Treasury report, Commissioner O'Donnell?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. The cash balance as of December 1st, 2018 was $5,461,403. On deposit, we had $57,639. We had withdrawals in the sum of $132,147. At the moment, the operating balance forward at that time was $5,386,895. And the top 10 checks are listed here. The other item is, this is for town staff. I'm going to formally request a meeting with the town manager and the mayor related to a potential discrepancy in documentation related to some check items. I had spoken to the mayor about this, and he directed me to make this request. So he just wanted to make sure it was in an open forum. So, and we'll follow up just to set a time.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Alrighty, thank you. Planning Commission report?
We do not meet in December, but we are meeting in January on January 28th, and that meeting will be discussing the annual report for 2018. Mr. President,
Thank you.
no problem.
Mr. Blanchard? Let me see. I did skip over the mayor. The mayor was sick this evening, but he does have a report there. Kathy, do you want to read anything off the report for?
Let me see what he has. Let's see, the mayor's comments for December. I'll just highlight some of the things that he went to. December 4th, Mother Seton School third graders, mayor and staff decorated the town Christmas tree. He highlighted the meetings that he attended with the town manager. December 12th, he attended the Maryland Mayors Association Executive Committee meeting via teleconference. December 4th, the Emmitsburg Elementary School, the mayor and staff decorated the town tree. December 19th, the mayor and town planner met with county planners and multi-user trail group from Gettysburg. I actually was at that meeting too. December 20th, mayor, town planner, and town manager, conference call with county fire and health department staff regarding apartment property. He had a meeting with the Daughters of Charity. They delivered gifts to the elderly with the Lions Club, and the mayor, Commissioner O'Donnell, met with Mayor Kennard of Thurmont regarding joint towns' efforts for bike riding through northern Frederick County.
And thank you. Alrighty, now we're on to our main agenda items. Ordinance on the trailer related to B2 zoning. for
So what you have
consideration.
before you is the ordinance related to the trailers. After the last meeting that we presented this ordinance, since it was only a discussion item at the time, we've brought the same ordinance back to you for approval. As you can see, letter D, section 2, number 2, a trailer may be used as a storage shed in the general commercial B2 or industrial park IP zones if it is not visible from any adjoining residential area, or if the property owner provides landscaping that adheres to the following requirements, which we outlined in the previous meeting. So basically, staff's just looking for approval of this ordinance so we can move forward.
Has everybody looked at the ordinance? Ordinance as written, as presented tonight. Any changes they would like to it?
Mr. President,
Commissioner Blanchard?
is there anyone signed up with that? Or are they going to speak at all? Or? No, okay, I wouldn't.
Yes. Ron, would you like to speak on
I thought maybe
the
they
order?
signed up, so.
I mean, the trailer ordinance?
Yeah, Ron Walter, 1765 Creamery Road. I just wanted to clarify about the adjoining residential properties. We're all in agreement that we don't adjoin any residential properties? Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Glenn, you have anything?
No, I just want to be sure they had a chance to say something, that's all.
Commissioner O'Donnell? you have
Yes, sir, thank you. Just for absolute clarity's sake, trailer, what defines a trailer? Does it have to have wheels? Does it have to have a hooking apparatus, or
It's the
does
definition is in another section. And we read it the last meeting. I don't have the definition in front of me.
But just for layman's terms, it's not the box, it's not the modular box, but it's like the whole traveling mechanism. Is that fair to say?
No, I mean, it includes your trailer pods.
Okay, so it does
So
include
it
the
can
pods.
be wheels or no wheels.
Terrific,
He has
okay.
the definition there, but that exactly defines a trailer, but it includes all.
I will take you at face
Okay.
value, and that's perfect, so long as it agrees. That's perfect. Thank you. And that's it, Mr. Sweeney. Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Ritz, you're welcome.
I have no. I'm ready to vote. Industrial park's good to go. Mr. Waters good to go. So
Do you have anything you want to say?
I'm ready to make the motion.
I am too. Okay, we're ready for make a motion. Can I have a motion for the ordinance, please?
I'll make a motion to accept ordinance 19-01 about trailers in the B2 zone.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Buckman. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Motion's been seconded by Commissioner Ritz. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Any nays? Motion carries 5-0. Adoption of the 2013 Forestry Plan for consideration.
I know.
Okay, so Commissioners O'Donnell, Blanchard, Mike Kay from the Maryland Department of Natural Resources, and I met at Rainbow Lake on December 15th for a few hours for a very detailed forest walk. It was very successful, very informative. He showed us around the various stands, more particular Stand 5, which will show up on the screen here, hopefully in the next couple seconds here. So basically, while this is heating up here, Mike Kay from the state is recommending immediate select harvest of this stand due to oak decline and bug damage. If approved by the board tonight, Mike will start going through Stand 5. There we go. If you could see the top there, it's Stand 5. It's kind of in the left middle. Can everybody see it? Okay. He'll go through Stand 5 and marking trees for sale. We will then work together to draft a request for proposals, which will be sent to potential loggers. Mike believes we will receive approximately $60,000 from Stand 5 alone. This is just about $1,000 per acre. Due to staff constraints, he can only help with one stand per year. Mike is recommending select harvest for future for Stand 6, which is 45 acres, Stand 7 and 8, which is 49 acres, Stand 11 is 33 acres, and Stand 15, which is 36 acres. Total potential revenue of $223,000. Just so the residents are aware, this is select harvest only. Basically, they're cutting down dead and dying trees. We're not going to clear cut by any means. Our main concern is the health of the forest. We are looking for board approval tonight of the implementation of the forest plan as prepared by the Maryland Department of Natural Resources.
Mention the bond.
Also, there was some concerns regarding trail damage. We definitely took that into consideration, and Mike Kay said that a very standard procedure is to have a bond. So if anything is damaged, we will be sure to put in the contract that they will be responsible for any kind of damages to any kind of trails. So I know that's a very big concern of the board, and we definitely want to take care of that. So.
Well, thank you. The main concern is that it's the health of the forest and keeping it healthy and getting out all the dead and diseased trees so that the forest can revitalize itself. I wasn't able to make it, but I did see some. I was here for the first forestry we did 20 years ago. Been here a long time. And it worked out pretty well there, and it does. We had good growth where it was taken out before, new healthy growth. So I have no problem with any of the forestry plan that's presented. Commissioner O'Donnell.
Okay. Yes, sir. I appreciate Mr. Golden's presentation and the fact that he was there for Mr. Blanchard and myself. And it was a very rainy day. You missed a fine day to be out in the woods. It was pretty spectacular. To clarify what their goal is, as I understood it, was it's a select harvest where it's not all the dead, but many of the marketable trees. That was one of the things he said. I really want to emphasize in my concern that Mr. K sort of reflected in his view, because he is a staff of one and he's the one from the state managing it. He really wants to go one stand at a time, and I really, no pun intended, stand by that, because the trail has been mostly volunteer maintenance, as you all well know. And I'm the lead person on that. And therefore, if damage does come to the trails, I'm going to be the one leading the effort to repair the trails, most likely, unless the bond says that they will be professionally repaired. And if that's the case, that would be an ideal circumstance.
Absolutely.
Okay. And that puts the burden on town staff to manage that, though. So I hope town staff recognizes that, because that was the tripping point on our $40,000 free money from our last meeting. Now, coming away from that, he also asked that the trails be flagged in an effort to make them most visible for the crews who will be operating out there, for their safety and for the safety of the trails. So I will be doing that as per his request. And that's a rather time-consuming thing, but in my view, it's not going to be done professionally. I don't see the town coming forward with money on that, so I will put the hours in on that one. And the other part is in Mr. K's discussion, and I hope it's in our contracts, the effort will be made to move between trails whenever possible rather than moving across trails. But the priority will be the safety of the workers, of course, and getting the job done, of course. So I don't want to compromise those issues. But those are the things that came from the meeting and I thought it was a very successful meeting. Mr. K and I believe, really understood one another and agreed on virtually everything. So, and Commissioner Blanchard was there as well, certainly, and, he can vouch, hopefully, to the veracity of that. I mean, I know I have blinders on about the issue, so hopefully he'll be the voice of reason on this.
Yeah, I concur. I mean, the idea is that, the investment in trails, the amount of money you put in volunteer hours, we don't want to see anything taken away from that. I mean, that is a resource that hopefully is bringing some tourist dollars, Emmett Spring, bringing some people up here. So, in turn, with harvesting trees at number 5, obviously that's money to the town, but at the same time, we don't want to mess up basically what we invested in the trails, and volunteer efforts, et cetera. From what I can tell from going up on the mountain that day, the stand on 5 can be, operational to get the trees out without causing damage to the other trails. So, we're looking for a good service, basically try to get this done. And again, it is the health of the forest itself. Forests aren't maintained. Everything's going to happen with the dead trees and bugs and everything else that happens with it. So I'm no expert, but I understood from Mr. K as we walked up the mountain enough about it to go, yeah, okay, it makes sense. So one stand at a time, pretty much. So that's my 2 cents.
For new people here, if people don't understand what's going on, we have a network of trails, bike trails and hiking trails that were put in by volunteers, and a lot of hours on the mountain, on our property on the mountain. We're going to be harvesting trees in different sections of that, and we will have to cross at certain times the bike trails and stuff like that. So, but the bike trails and stuff are all, I haven't used them personally at all yet. I haven't had time, but a lot of people do use them, and a lot of people from out of town use them. So we do want to make sure they're put back when they're.
Mr. Sweeney, I'll throw out there that $300,000 of money was donated to build the trails with a professional builder and designer, and grant money in excess of, I want to say, almost $200,000 was used also from the recreational trail program. So it wasn't just volunteers.
Yeah,
it was professionally designed and built.
So all those
you know.
collars and stuff are a lot of them are the trails, correct?
Correct.
Each one is a different loop.
Yeah,
yes.
each one's a different degree, from easy up to hard.
Exactly right.
And we do have maps here if you like to use them, and they are marked with signs, and also
They're blazed and they're
yeah,
marked.
and you
Yes,
can
sir.
see them. So if anybody doesn't know they're there, they can use them. Just come get them out. Commissioner Ritz, do you have any?
Sundays.
I do have a question. This is directed to town staff. I didn't bring my notes from last time. I apologize. I think we discussed the revenue from the harvesting. What would that be put towards?
First and foremost, as staff's reviewing what I would like to see, but it depends on how long it takes to have this done. As you know, and it'll be on the agenda for next month, is we have to conduct a hydraulic and hydrologic, thank you, analysis at Rainbow Lake at the dam. And as you know, once the report's done, I'm sure there's going to be work that's going to have to be completed to bring the dam up to MDE standards. What the cost will be for that, I don't know. We're just going through the engineering bids now. Me personally, I'd like to see it put into that project. But there was I don't think we've even gotten to the point to say, 20,000 is going here, 30,000 is going there. I know right now we're looking at, the engineering reports are anywhere from 15,000 to about 35,000. Is that correct? Somewhere along that ballpark. So, but it depends how quick it happens, where we put the money.
Potentially could be used for existing infrastructure too, like even the sewer lines that we were looking at.
We've talked to our auditors about it, and she's basically said that wherever the board decides to earmark the money, we can do it.
Okay.
Because it's not strictly because it's the trails. It doesn't have an attachment to water, it doesn't have attachment to sewer or the general fund. The board would just have to make a determination where we want to put that money.
Discretionary in a sense.
Because, yeah.
Okay.
We'd have to put it towards
Well.
something, but yes,
Okay. Thanks. I couldn't remember.
right.
Mr. Buckman,
No.
you have a question?
No, I'm good. That's basically got my 2 cents in
I'm
already.
good also. We do have somebody who wants to speak on the issue.
No.
Please come up to the mic. You have to give your name and your address again.
My name is Joanne Caldwell, and I live at 208 East Main Street. And I was just wondering, you are going to put some apple trees and walnut trees and with these trees, aren't you, some diversity for the wildlife and for people? And also, that helps when there's viruses and chemical warfare and different things that destroy our food supplies. But it is good to have different kinds of nut trees, like walnut, and different kinds of fruit trees, if that could be possible. That would be a good thing, I think.
Okay.
Thanks
thank
for
you.
listening. God bless you.
Any other questions on the forestry plan before we vote on it? Anybody else? Okay, I need a motion to adopt the forestry plan.
I make a motion to adopt the 2000. Is that a misprint, actually?
13. That's
Oh.
correct.
Okay. I'll make a motion to adopt the 2013 forestry plan for consideration.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Blanchard. Is there a second to the
I'll
motion?
second that.
Second by Commissioner Buckman. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 What's wrong?
Any nays?
Aye.
No,
Oh, no, no nay. Aye.
I thought we were going to discuss something real quick.
Well, we can have discussion before.
Okay, it's just a question. I'm sorry, I meant to ask it. Another question. It's
Is
not going to
that to
affect my
Kathy?
vote.
Is it to the
Yes.
staff?
Let's direct it to staff.
Okay. Kathy, we had,
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, the
Give it
forestry
back.
plan, was it listed in the agenda? I mean, it's not in our agenda packet, but it was in print for
Yeah, we
everyone.
had it available at the last meeting. It was a handout that was provided to you outside of the agenda packet because it was too large to put in. It was not put back into this agenda packet.
Okay, so it was available to the public last time.
Correct.
Okay. That was all.
oh, okay.
It doesn't affect my vote, so.
The vote has been made. It's 5-0. Moving on. Approval of the MHAA Wayside exhibits for consideration.
Good evening. My name's Scott Grove. I'm with the Ion Design team that is developing these 3 waysides for Main Street. And we came, I think you'll remember, in November and presented these originally. And gratefully, we received some comments, corrections. Accuracy is very important to us. And so anyway, thank you very much for that. We sincerely appreciate that. And those corrections were documented by town staff. We, in turn, went and made those corrections. They were reviewed and approved by town staff. And these are the updated versions of those panels based on those changes.
Do I have any questions for the presentation?
There was just one.
Commissioner Ritz?
Unless I missed it, did we discuss Commissioner Blanchard's verbiage to use for the segregation of troops with the doughboy, or were we going with what was originally presented? I thought we were changing that.
Well, we did change it.
Yeah.
Actually, that was changed.
Okay.
This is what you have, the same.
Let me see. I think maybe I can tell you what that language was.
Specifically, the second paragraph.
It was slightly changed.
Yeah.
Because I think the original version had something to do with something legal in it, and we just changed it to because of the prevailing discriminatory attitudes of the era.
Commissioner Ritz,
The
I'm
names of
kind
African-
of.
You're good?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I mean,
Okay.
because it does state because of that time period, the racial discrimination, the names would have been listed separately. So just an explanation of why it's done. So when people are standing there looking at it going, well, what's the deal here?
No,
Basically,
good.
I think.
Okay.
So I think it just helps basically because when you look at the brass plaque, it's kind of confusing. You know, it's like, what's up with that? You know, it's like this at least explains why it was done.
I think they're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Grove, I really want to compliment you. Thank you for your comments earlier. We exchanged some emails. A singular concern, you'll be happy, just one.
Okay.
Okay, and it relates to that last paragraph on the America Goes to War regarding the, because of racial discrimination. Caucasian versus white. I don't know how the board feels about that. Formal vernacular versus informal vernacular. I don't know if that's
I think this is.
in anybody else's concern. Commissioner Buckman, you're against it.
Yeah, I think it's fine the way it
Okay.
is.
Anybody else?
No.
None?
I can go with that.
Okay. Go with a change or as it is?
As it-
Caucasian, I mean,
Okay,
I think it's an acceptable term.
okay,
I can live with either one. I would have liked to have seen it changed personally, but
okay.
Oh, any other discussion? Before we go for a vote? I need a motion to accept the approval of the MHAA Wayside exhibit signs.
I'll make a motion to approve the MHAA Wayside exhibits.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Buckman. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Ritz. Further discussion?
It's a good
Anyone
question.
have any further discussion? Glenn?
This is just the beginning of the process, correct? I mean, it's like we're looking at the possibility of further signage in town.
I hope so.
Yes.
That's
I believe so.
correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Just gonna bring that up too. That was
Okay,
my
okay. I
question.
just making sure it's not a done deal. This is like the starting point.
Yeah,
so.
this is the first 3 starting points, and I think Mayor's been emailing and talking to the commissioners and getting their
Trying to get some
perspectives
feedback.
of where to put the wayside signs. I don't know if I know he can talk to Commissioner Ritz.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to him also.
I also talked to him, and I think the first 3. Where's the first 3 going? These first 3 signs.
I believe the square, the doughboy, both at the doughboy. right?
The town square is going to go in front of PNC.
Thank you.
PNC Bank. And then the other 2 signs are going to be, the waysides are going to be, if you're looking at the Emmett House, over on the left-hand side, there's a bit of sidewalk that can accommodate both of those waysides. And we thought from a pedestrian standpoint, it made more sense there. So
And
that's
they'll be
the
the first
plan.
3.
So on the triangle or on the sidewalk?
They're on the sidewalk.
Like not on the triangle with the doughboy, is that correct?
Correct. There wasn't enough space to
Sure,
put both
sure.
of them on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Diane has
We have a. Can you come up here to the
I
podium?
think she lives right there.
Okay.
On your front porch, Diane.
Diane Walbrecker, 535 West Main Street. So it's to the left of the Doughboy, so it's on my sidewalk?
I don't know. I
Yes.
don't.
On which part of my sidewalk? I mean,
I'm trying
like,
to picture your house. I'm drawing a blank.
It's right on the corner.
The
It's
brick
the
house,
corner.
yeah.
It's down. It's south or it'll be
On the-
east of your house. It's not going to be in front of your house. It's not, the sidewalk in front of your house is not wide enough.
Oh, okay, so where
Wider piece.
where the tree is?
It's pretty much where, the widest part, east of your house.
Okay,
Yes.
okay,
Is that
No,
okay?
we've tried to be very sensitive about the, to homeowners
okay.
with regard to the placement.
It was the first I heard of it, but, okay,
And these are the wayside signs that are going out, if you want
Oh.
to see them.
yeah.
In the future, I want to input.
He has some right here. You can take them home with you. They're the first three. Alrighty, no further discussion?
Denise?
When are these being placed?
I don't know the timeline.
Well, they can be put up as soon as about 45 days.
There you go.
So it'll be in the spring,
Yes.
sometime
Yeah,
in the
there's going
spring.
to be a special event planned, a ribbon cutting, once they're installed. Obviously, you want
Be
to do
nice to
it
do this.
when the weather's a little warmer.
Yeah.
So
These are just
All right.
outside.
we'll pick a special day.
Could I request an actual, like, just picture diagram showing exactly where, maybe like an aerial photo?
I'm sure,
Don't
somebody
need it
on
right
staff can
now.
produce one.
That won't be too time consuming for staff, would it?
No.
Okay.
So before we commit to a location, is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, just
Okay.
just to make sure. I'd like to
So
envision
you
it.
want to hold off till February now? Is my question.
Well, no, we're approving the design tonight.
Okay, that was my question. Okay,
I'm okay with that.
okay.
Just did want
But
to make sure
obviously, the
that
location is, these exhibit signs were designed based off the location. So if you move it too far from where the designated location is, then you're going to lose the vantage point, say, of the Emmett House when you're looking at these wayside signs. We have to take into consideration all the ADA requirements and everything. But certainly, there can be we can send out a map. We can even put it on our website of where the future location of where they're going to be.
I think people just want to know. I don't think it's that we're moving them.
Yeah.
All right.
Just a
Well, thank you.
visual.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
What you can call?
all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. 5-0.
We probably should-
Adoption of the streets and sidewalk and public place fees policy.
I'm going to turn these next few agenda items over to Zach.
Zach, okay.
Okay, so this is an ordinance to amend Title 12 of the Code of Emmitsburg entitled Streets, Sidewalks, and Public Spaces. So I'm going to go down kind of section by section, basically state what we are proposing to change. So Chapter 12.10, Obstruction and Use of Sidewalks, more specifically Section 12.10.40, permit required. So basically, application for such permit shall be accompanied by, and then we crossed off some, and required fee as established by ordinance, resolution, or policy of the mayor and board of commissioners. Basically, this just allows a fee for a sidewalk commercial permit.
Which, and I'll just interrupt real quick. These fees were already in place. They just weren't established in ordinance or code form. So what Zach has basically done, as you'll see through these ordinances, is basically clean up what we already have and making it formal and putting it into our code where it should have been.
Okay, so Chapter 12.12, excavations, 12.12.10, opening in streets. It is unlawful for any person to tear up any street paving for any purpose whatsoever or to disturb the surface by digging holes or trenches in any street, sidewalk, park, or public place within the town without first making applications to, and we crossed out mayor and put in town manager, and obtaining a written permit to do so, which permit the town manager or town manager designee is authorized to grant application under such regulations as may be adopted by the mayor and board of commissioners. The application must be accompanied by any required fee as established by ordinance, resolution, or policy of the mayor and board of commissioners. So basically, that just allows us to have a street cut permit, which we already have, and charge a fee. Going down to C, just changing, instead of the mayor reviewing it, it's going to be the town manager. Next page, D, we just moved that up a hair there. Whenever the paving of a street after having been torn up has sunk below the proper grade of the street, it shall be the duty of the person digging the holes or trenches to again repave or rebuild at his or her own expense as often as may be necessary in order to completely restore the true grade of the street. And just in case a half a year down the road the street sags a little bit, they have to come back and pave it, or if not, we'll do it and we'll charge them. E, in the event or refusal of, or neglect upon receiving 20 days notice from the town manager to comply with the aforesaid provisions, the repairs shall be made by the town, charged the offender, and collected by law. So any questions with that in particular?
No.
Okay, going down, this is chapter 12.22, temporary closures of streets, including lanes and sidewalks. So this basically allows somebody to close a street if they have work being done on their house or beside an alley or something like that. So basically, there's a section on definitions. The next section is going to be permits. Permits may be issued under this chapter to allow a property owner to temporarily close a street for the purpose of reconstructing or repairing their dwelling, a sidewalk, curb, or other structure, or installing or repairing utilities. Next page. B, to allow a person or group to conduct a parade, race, walkathon, or large private event. C, for any other lawful purpose. Next section, application. Any person seeking a permit to temporarily close a street shall file a completed application with the town on a form provided by the town at least 5 days prior to the requested closing date. An application may be accompanied by a parking and traffic plan and any other information required by the town as necessary to allow the town manager to act on the application in an informed manner. The application must be accompanied by a required fee as established by the board and mayor. Next, approval criteria. The town manager will issue a permit only upon the determination that the closing will not jeopardize safety or create detrimental traffic operations. Next section, issuance of permits. The town manager shall approve the permit application, approve it with conditions, approve it with modifications, or deny the application. Revocation. The town manager may suspend or revoke any permit issued under this chapter upon finding any violation of this chapter, the terms, conditions imposed in the permit, or for any other action deemed detrimental to public health and safety. Next section, access. The permit holder shall ensure that emergency vehicles can access the closed street at all times during the closure. Next page, street cleaning. The permit holder shall clear all debris and other trash from the street before it is reopened. If the permit holder fails to clear all debris and other trash from the street, and the town manager concludes that there is a danger to the passage of the vehicular traffic or potential contamination of the stormwater management system, then the town will cause the street to be cleaned at the expense of the permit holder. Next section, closure by town. The director of public works or the director's designee may direct any street or portion of a street not to be used temporarily and may order barriers to be placed to indicate that the street is temporarily closed to travel. Last section, violations and penalties. A person may not close or attempt to close a street without first obtaining a permit in accordance with this chapter. B, a person may not remove or tamper with any barriers closing a street under this chapter. And C, failure to comply with this chapter or any order or requirement imposed in this chapter is punishable by a fine. And that's everything. Is there any questions?
Any questions for Zach on the Title 12, Streets and Sidewalks? Mr. O'Donnell?
No, sir.
Commissioner Ritz?
No questions on that one.
Commissioner Buckman?
Nope.
Glenn?
Nope, we're good.
Okay, I don't have any either. I need a motion to accept to adopt the amendment for the Town Code for Title 12.
I make a motion to adopt the amendment to Town Code Title 12 as presented.
Motion's been made by Commissioner O'Donnell. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Blanchard. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, adoption of streets and sidewalks, public places and policies for discussion.
Okay, so since the board just passed the proposed amendment, now the board can decide how much to charge for the specific permits. We're recommending for a sidewalk commercial permit, $50, and that should be corrected to per year. Yes. In policy. Yep. So $50 per year. It's in the packet too.
Yes, gotcha.
Yes. The sidewalk commercial permit was only $10 previously. Excuse me, $20. B, street cut permit. We're proposing $100 plus a $200 bond. That was, I believe, $50. Temporary closure of streets, including lanes and sidewalks. That right now is $10 per day, and we're proposing $25 per day. I should say per day there.
What we did is reached out to several other municipalities to see what their fees and guidelines were, and as he goes through everything, we kind of lined up our fees to be kind of in line with what other municipalities are charging for things of this nature.
I believe I missed it. The street cut permit also is going to be a $2,000 bond. It's very customary. Everybody does that just to be safe. If we were talking about before, if a street would curve in, we would come back and be able to use that bond to repave where the street was cut.
Any questions for Zach? Commissioner O'Donnell?
No, sir.
Commissioner Ritz?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Buckner? Commissioner Blanchard?
I'm good.
I'm also good. I need a motion to to adopt the payment fees. Is that what it is?
It's the policy 19-01.
I make a motion to accept policy number P19-01
With the added bond.
With the added bond?
with the added bond.
Motion's been made by Commissioner O'Donnell. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Second by Commissioner Buckman. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Any nays? Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, so next, the permits and inspections fee policy. If passed, this will be replacing the policy set in 2003. For A, new buildings, these are any buildings that have never been issued an occupancy permit. Basically, what we did here was we just cleaned up some of the language. None of these fees are being increased to stay the same as our neighboring municipalities. So I just wanted to make it more clear, I guess, so people understood the fee structure. I also changed business and industrial in number 3 to non-residential. The fee is determined by the total valuation of the property or the project plus impact fees as established. For B, repairs, remodeling, additions, fences, pools, accessory buildings, extensions, and alterations. This is what we see day to day. These are basically your zoning permits. So this was on a tiered schedule. I made it on a flat schedule so it's easier for the residents to understand. The fee is determined by the total valuation of the project. As you can see, there's now a flat fee schedule, so it's a lot easier for staff and residents to determine what their fees are going to be. So if their project's $6,000 for a residential project, their fee is going to be $45. For A, change of use and use and occupancy permit, it was $35. We're asking for $50. And for sign permits, they were all signs were $35. We're asking for $50 per sign. That does take staff's time. It takes a while to review sign permits and occupancy permits.
Alrighty, is there any questions for Zach on the fee pay schedules? Commissioner O'Donnell?
Yes, sir. What neighboring communities do you compare it to, like Tawnytown, Thurmont?
Thurmont, Tawnytown, Frederick City,
Middletown.
Middletown,
Terrific. Okay,
New Brunswick.
thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Commissioner Ritz?
Oh, no, I'm good. Thank you.
Commissioner Ruckman?
I'm fine.
Commissioner Blanchard?
I'm good.
I am also good. I need a motion to accept the pay fee schedules as presented, inspection fees.
I make a motion to accept policy number P19-02 as presented.
Motion's been made by Commissioner O'Donnell. Was there a second to the motion?
I'll second the motion. Sorry, I thought it was wrong.
Thank you.
Been seconded by Commissioner Blanchard. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Any nays?
I said aye.
Okay. Any nays?
No,
Motion
this is-
carries 5-0.
Terrific.
That's it for agenda this evening, I believe. Now we'll set the agenda for the February 4th meeting. You have,
I do.
oh,
Several items.
let me get the
I got one too.
paper.
First
paper
off,
here.
for February 4th, 2019, it'll be the audit presentation by our auditors. Second, for consideration, approval of the engineering firm to complete the hydrologic and hydraulic analysis for Rainbow Lake Dam. Third, for consideration, approval of engineering firm for the new Creamery Road pumping station. Number 4, for consideration, approval of the pool management company for the 2018 to 2020 pool season. Number 5, for consideration, fiscal year 18 budget transfers to the capital fund, your Fund 2. 6, this is a presentation item only. It's presentation on amended sign ordinance due to recent legislative changes. That agenda item is going to take several meetings. We simply want to do a short, brief presentation on changes that must be made to our sign ordinance. I know the commissioners, several of you have attended the conferences, and there was some legal changes that have been made to the sign ordinance. We have to make sure we're in compliance. Then 2 administrative business items. 1 will be the 2018 Annual Planning Commission report. And if Commissioner O'Donnell would like to bring back his trail volunteer days for admin.
I would.
Okay.
Thank you.
Whatever.
Commissioner Blanchard?
Well, if you want to start the other end or just wait.
That's all right. I can start this soon.
Okay. I just had a request actually to invite County Councilman, I do believe his name is Blue,
Yes.
that represents this area. If possible, we could formally do it. I'm not sure that should be admin business or how that should be done.
Well, it can be admin business. I think it'd be appropriate, and I'll get with the mayor tomorrow, that he makes the formal invitation.
Okay.
But sure.
I mean, I know he's willing to come up to this area because he was at the VHCC
Okay.
banquet dinner the other night. So it'd just be kind of nice to be able to be working with this person for the next 4 years. So,
Right.
You know.
Correct.
So that was thank you, sir.
Anything else for the agenda? Mr. Buckman?
No.
Commissioner Ritz?
I had a request to add something. I don't think it would take too long, but Mr. Wayne Slaughter, he's been on standby. I know he said he'd wait to touch base with this, and he touched base with me today regarding the garden path, the maintenance of the
The botanical gardens.
He never submitted me his, the first plan he submitted to me, he said, scrap it, I'm coming up with something else.
That's what he's bringing, I believe.
And then I never got a second one to
Yeah, the
review.
reason why you haven't, I'll let you know, he had surgery, and he's been
Right.
unable to come in for 2 months. So he had major surgery done. So he's fine now. So he's going to be coming and presenting, I guess, a new whatever.
Plan.
I mean, it'd be nice if staff could see it if he has it already finished, it'd be nice if staff could see it prior to the meeting, but
Do you want me to just have him contact you with that?
that would be great.
Okay.
I'd like to take a look at it.
All right.
And I'd even be willing to sit down and meet with him and to go over it. But if you guys want the presentation, obviously, that's
I think we
decision
have
for you
enough
guys.
for the night. Because the spring's coming in, he can't do anything right now, so
It's
let
just
me get with you guys first and let you go over it, and then I think coming back to the February meeting will be better.
You mean
Or
March?
March meeting.
Okay. That would be great.
It'll be closer to the planning time.
I'll have him email you. That's what happens when you go to the post office. You just run into everybody. you know, so.
Commissioner O'Donnell,
I was going to make a motion.
a motion to accept the agenda items as presented.
Yes, sir. I make a motion to accept the agenda items as they are presented related to the administrative business agenda and the meeting agenda.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made by Commissioner O'Donnell, second by Commissioner Buckman. All in favor of the agenda meeting? Schedule, for the next meeting, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Signing of documents. Do you have any of those?
Yes, you will after the meeting.
Okay,
do
I
you
need a
have
motion to
Cleveland-
close the meeting.
I make a motion to close the meeting.
The inventory.
Motion's been made by Commissioner
O'Donnell.
O'Donnell,
Thank you, sir.
I'll
Thank
second it.
and second by Commissioner Buckman. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you for coming to the meeting. We closed the meeting for the town at 9:37.
Awesome.
Thank you for coming.